с борщем, сырники, your mama's baklava. Some grandma's secret recipe to tauntaun ramen bar. I like you crunch, you like you soft. I like it when you freshly served for me. For me. Yummy, 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 delicious. I wanna put you in my tummy, my precious. Yummy, 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 delicious. Tasting you is so delicious. Yummy, 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 delicious. I wanna put you in my tummy, my precious. Yummy, 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 delicious. Tasting you is epic delicious.
One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good too.
Thôi không nè.
现在有在录吗？
有啊。
那你可以关掉吗？我要讲敏感话题啊。
Hiện tại là LCP bên ở thời điểm hiện tại thì đã thay đổi cũng như là củng cố rất là nhiều thành viên khác nhau đến từ rất là nhiều chỗ khác nhau nên là rất là khó đánh giá mọi người, và người rất lớn nhất thì có lẽ là CFO. Hiện tại thì chưa thi đấu cũng như là chưa có làm quen gọi là bắt lửa nhiều nên là cũng rất là khó đánh giá.
Với việc qua game và mình không làm đội trưởng nữa thì mình cảm thấy khá là thoải mái và nhẹ nhõm. Như cá nhân mình phải giữ những thứ mình đã làm trước kia khi mà làm đội trưởng để mình còn được làm đội trưởng cho chính bản thân của mình.
Mình thấy là anh huấn luyện viên mới rất là vui tính và vui vẻ với lại nhiệt huyết trong công việc. Ban đầu thì tụi mình rất là khó khăn trong khoảng giao tiếp, nhưng mà dần dần thì tụi mình cũng đã tìm hướng giải quyết để nói chuyện với nhau nhiều hơn. Nên là bây giờ cho tới hiện tại thì bọn mình đã rất dễ dàng để làm việc với nhau. Mình muốn nói với Taki với mình rằng là đã rời đi thì hãy chìm trong thất bại, người ở lại thì luôn có chiến thắng.
まあ、新しく加入したケインだったりだとか、シトラスたくさんコールする選手なので、そういったコールが、それぞれで噛み合っていけばもうどんどん強いチームになっていくんじゃないかなと思います。
そうだな、なんか久しぶりに会ったアリアはすごい冷たい選手のように見えたんですけど、全然そんなことはなくて、僕が体調悪い時にはエビ体調大丈夫？心配してくれたり変わってませんでした。
他的打法应该比较偏向支援队友的类型，而我是在线上自己做压制。会有啊，想起很多的回忆啊，就也希望他可以跟我一起进步吧。只是说非常期待啊，希望你真的会付出。
没有到那么好，感觉我们的默契还需要配合一阵子，然后沟通的方面也要加强。
我觉得我们算是一个新的队伍嘛，因为其实我们像是 Shadow、汹涌跟厄尔骑士加入，那我们目前也是在处理一些沟通上的问题，然后也很努力在教汹涌一些简单的中文。大家可以期待一下我们的沟通就比去年更烂了。
队伍状况的话，目前可能还处于比较不安定的状况。对粉丝说的话就谢谢你们支持，然后我们会努力的。CFO，因为我们这一队都是跟 CFO 有一些渊源嘛，就是可能是淘汰掉了或者就是不被选上的这样。我是不被选上的。
Đợi em xíu.
Ê này, đi đâu đấy?
Hả?
Game bắt đầu rồi kìa.
Trụ nổ luôn kìa.
Ừ, bây giờ trụ lấy tức sát thương.
Em vừa làm gì rồi?
Nhiệm vụ xong rồi kìa, lấy quà đi. Em ở đó làm gì? Đi về đi.
Đi tìm Akasan đi.
Ataka bị xóa rồi, độc bản cập nhật đi chứ.
À, đánh thường mà đâu ghê.
Đồ mới mà. Thôi không chơi nữa, độc bản cập nhật đi rồi tính tiếp.
やっとラップが緑になったって
初めてこんな長いパッチノート見たなって思って。
我觉得最大改正是任务吧，因为这样前面就换线不了了，只能先去做任务。
すごく ADC は前より強いロールになってたと思うんで楽しい。
确实上路有点少，他团战后面有点游龙，现在节奏跟之前完全不一样。
クエストの影響でスタップが起きないっていうので、連戦がより頻繁に戦闘が起きて主導権を得るために戦うことが増えていくと思うので。
Phiên bản này thì sẽ cho khán giả coi được rất nhiều kiểu giao tranh này kia vui hơn mấy mùa trước。
我感觉就是钱会来得很快吧，因为塔皮每个塔都有塔皮，
塔钱也会让游戏进程变快，大家装备会成型的比较快。
Theo mình nghĩ thì với cơ chế trụ khi mà đẩy lính vào nó sẽ có nhiều bông hoa mà gọi trụ thì khi tụi mình sẽ lấy trụ dễ dàng hơn, tại vì khi đó thì tụi mình gây sát thương lên trụ sẽ tăng rất là nhiều sát thương。
然后2打2的话，我觉得之前太影响游戏了吧，因为每次到20分钟基本上都会在那里挂机。
20分からめっちゃ戦ってたけど、今20分に上がるバロンが今めっちゃ硬いから。
簡単になんかタッチできない。
以中路来说肯定是科技强啊，因为阿卡丽这样很快能突发变形。
新しい一兵みたいなやつありますよ。
Tại vì mình đã đánh rất nhiều tướng lên trang bị đó, mình cảm thấy trang bị đó khá là lỗi。
ADC なんでやっぱりストームレーザーなんかすごく強いアイテムが戻ってきたので、なんかやっててすごく楽しいなっていう。
Và mình cảm thấy khá là thú vị khi mà chơi ở phiên bản này.
Read the patch notes.
Go read the patch notes. Please read the patch notes before you play.
Cho Square khi mà bia vòng sau chắc chắn là Gam Esports họ muốn thua bởi vì họ không biết bia đang ở đâu. Họ tưởng là bia anh ta mới biến về và anh ta đang di chuyển ra chứ không nghĩ là anh ta ở phía sau lưng của mình. Nhưng đường trên này cũng phải lao vào này, còn lôi thần giáng thế trên người đến từ Bùn. Lôi thần giáng thế đang cũng tốc biến đến từ kia nhanh, tốc biến lao vào và solo kill dành cho Bùn. Ready rồi, còn với Artemis anh ta cũng đã hoàn thành tam hợp nhưng đường trên tiếp tục lao vào có lôi thần giáng thế. Nhưng kìa ya, lôi thần giáng thế hay cái cú cá nhưng bị solo kill bởi đối phương với cái điên cuồng cắn xé. Tiếp tục là tình huống solo kill chiếm thật.
Đây là một tình huống mà bên phía của Gam họ phải rất vất vả để lấy mạng của Pool khi Pool này ta đầu tư cái chiêu cuối từ pha trước đó để áp lực vào người Ares. Ares không tốc biến né xoáy đi từ Pool và ta outplay thành công người trên đường giữa của đối phương.
Ở đây tốc biến lao vào, lốc xoáy đến một người đối phương này, có đại địa chấn lao vào nhưng service bốc người ngay lập tức thấy nhìn sân từ quen đi kìa, double kill dành cho Dio. Baron mở ra với vòng xoay không gian nhưng quyết định kiếm Ares. Ares bị khống chế rồi, gọi báo tung ra là đủ sát thương đến từ Pool.
边线的雅尼也在推嘛，他们是没有要打这波团的，但这波竟然是。
哎呦呦，怎么塞？中国闪现进去要拼了，人头，再滑出来受不了了，红手闪现要闪现是吧？中国给斩掉，这是红手拉拉大，这波连续的吹风，那叫 double kill。
哇，红手在拯救世界啊！哦，这样子其实是有加注的、哦，经济没有因为这个巴龙被拉开哦。
这波还在斩，但推得住，
他很能打，很能打，
大绝限制那边，然后都打到了红头啊！这压力杀疯了，
还能追，
后面 Red 也被留住，有闪现要不要交？这不交闪可能要被斩死当场。
感觉不交，
正面要被红手再给砍死。
哇，这什么伤害啊？一直砍啊！
红手刀没有停过。
哇，他从高地塔砍到2塔。
カイタが20秒ドラゴンが枠20秒前にリコールしたのでちょっと遅れたんですよ。
ボイドシーカーからなるほど
法的なダメージのトレードオフ。
そして当ててる。
なるほど。でその流れで反転。いやこれもアリアが釣った分ですよね。
Thì anh ta cũng mất thêm một vài chỉ số lính sau khi mà tên lính đó đẩy vào cái trụ ở đầu tiên ở trên đường dưới này. Đây chúng ta sẽ cùng xem tình huống BE tìm một góc luồn ra vị trí phía sau cực kỳ hay. Pha này gang có vẻ hơi sướng để họ nhìn vào con cua thì phải, bởi vì cơ bản là rừng của họ đang hoạt động ở mảng trên và ngay lập tức là một tình huống BE anh ta tấn công người Artemis bị đánh choáng và tần số là quá nhanh khi có sự hỗ trợ đến.
Cái bên vẫn chưa có lý do để đánh nhau cả, chắc sẽ chỉ là những tình huống từ từ nào. Ta xung bằng một Histo này, Histo bị mất lại nhưng lẻ loi quá Dakar ơi. Dio anh ta đang bọc sau, Dakar anh ta gặp điểm, ta vẫn không biến bản nó sẽ thủ lao vào, bản tung ra là khá điểm đầu hoa tung ra cùng trên một thành viên đối phương đó chính là Histo bị sập chói và anh ta sẽ phải lên bàn điểm số khi một trận tâm linh ẩn chuẩn xác nhưng Artemis bị mất lại rồi, siêu nhạc thế nằm xuống, Artemis nằm xuống, khi nhạc có danh năng khổng lồ nhưng ta quá lẻ loi trước một thành viên đối phương. Đây có thể là còi endgame chăng? Ta khi ăn cầu sống cổng ra tốc rồi, tốc biến lao vào tìm kiếm vào Dio đang là một tiêu tả xung đột vào Dio tốc biến lui về là bản tung ra là khá điểm thua hoàng ba người đối phương nhưng tốc biến lui về đến từ Artemis bản thủ lao vào tìm kiếm Artemis nhưng Eddie lẻ loi quá, anh ta vẫn trong tay Seeker nhưng Artemis nằm xuống, Eddie tốc biến lui về tấn công Dakar cùng với đó là ta tìm kiếm Eddie nhưng Eddie còn sống, bên này tay cầm bật lên, bên kia Histo đã shut down tấn công Ares, Eddie vẫn còn sống ở trên bản đồ, Dakar nằm xuống, Kia cố gắng chạy về với giằng ná tí đi, anh ta hết tốc biến rồi, chỉ thiên chưa tới tầm, Kia đang cố gắng đảo diều nhưng ta bị khống chế, bị chỉ thiên, bị lôi phạt và lên phải điểm số.
2v2 side selection showdown. Here's how the game works. There's a ban phase before the match begins. All champions are available. Each champion can only be picked once per team for the entire split. Teams must now strategize their picks carefully, setting the stage for dynamic and diverse 2v2 matchups. The match ends when any of these conditions are met. When a team is first to 2 kills or is first to destroy the enemy turret. Sudden death kicks in after 7 minutes and the winner is decided by the first kill. One fight decides it all. Win the showdown and first selection.
It's clear as day, 'cause we've broken through the ceiling. Still hold on to the feeling now. Slowly getting closer. Now it all makes sense. There's no more time for running. This is all we ever wanted now. Once again, oh, I surprise myself. I'm losing track of time. 'Cause you and I need to feel alive. As far as I can see, we're living in a dream. When we let go of the wheel, it's like we're living in a dream. can taste the dirt in my mouth. You can drag me, you can kill me, to try to stomp the flame out. Oh, angel sound echoes in the darkest hour. You can hunt me and you can have me, but you have no power. It's coming over the horizon like the blinding sun. Oh, let there be silence for the ones we drew our courage from. This is salvation. I can see mercy on the hill. Don't let your faith dim. There is a light the darkness can never hide. Holding the light, bound by the rough thread of hope. Yeah, we've got blood in the fight, and we won't stop till you're empty of both. Oh, this is our sanctuary. All right together, and we won't let go.
One more. 1, 2, 3. Looking good too.
现在有在录吗？
有啊。
那你可以关掉吗？我要讲敏感话题啊。
And welcome back to the LCP. It is day 2 of week 4, the last week of the regular split. Carricks, I'm very excited for tonight's games. We've got yet another VCS derby on our hands before our second series, which will be just as exciting. But Carricks, there's some big news in the LCP today. Why don't you tell us all about it?
Well, it's pretty exciting because here in the LCP, we've brought back Style of Me. S of M has subbed himself in for MVK in a VCS derby. Logan, you alluded to it, but it is hard to overstate how massive this is. S of M, obviously, almost the most storied Vietnamese player. The only person who even enters the conversation is Levy, and they're playing in different leagues. Levy stayed within Vietnam for the most part. He went to NA for a little bit, didn't really have an enormous amount of success over there. Not so much his fault, but he was a Vietnamese. Just mainstay. While S of M was the first Vietnamese player to leave Vietnam. On the screen, we do have Team Secret Wales going up against them. Pun, Histo, Dyer, Eddie, BA. Now, this is what I would just say, currently, in my opinion, is the best Vietnamese team in the LCP. I think they smashed Garm last week. They went really, really hard on them. However, MVK bringing S of M back. This is a guy that put Vietnam on the map. Vietnam has always been so interesting in that the most quote-unquote prestigious role has been junglers. That's unique for Vietnam. Every other region, when you talk about superstar players, you're talking about mid laners, Caps in EU, Faker, obviously, Bjergsen for NA, or ADCs, of course. It's not just the mid laners. Double Lift in NA, Perks when he was down in that role, obviously shared time. In Vietnam, it's junglers. It was Levy, but before it was Levy, it was S of M. Goes over to China, puts on a show, comes second at Worlds, the deepest run a Vietnamese player has ever made. And there he is on your screen. I don't know if I'm sitting here as Team Secret Wales. Yesterday, I was feeling really confident. I was like, I've played against these guys all the time. I know how Shogun plays. I know how Elio plays. I know how Guri plays. And then you get, the coach kicks the door down and goes, it's not Guri. It's so much worse. And Logan, if you're on Team Secret Wales, how do you feel?
Frankly, I'd almost be feeling apprehensive because obviously, as you were saying a little earlier, there's that X Factor and S of M returning to the roster. But I would almost feel erring on the side of confidence because have they had that time to synergize? Have they had that time to scrim? It's like we talk about at the start of any split, Carrix, new team, new strategies, new synergies that have to be learned and played around. But obviously there's that advantage of S of M being so heavily involved with MVK as well, even coaching for MVK in the LCP for 2025, Carrix. So if I'm Team Secret Wales, I'd be quietly confident, but playing respectfully of what MVK is bringing to the Rift tonight, Carrix.
I completely agree. This is not like he hasn't come from just outside. It's not like he's been off on a beach somewhere for the last few years and, MVK did the Nick Fury thing where someone approached him at a bar and said, we need you to come back. He's been part of this team. When he's been, as you said, coaching them in the LCP as MVK, but he was also part of the rebrand to Vikings back in the VCS. Even then, he teased when they announced that he was, buying into the team and he was going to be part of it. He was teasing that it was as a player. We were all sitting there going, is S.M. playing? Is he coaching? What's he doing? And he very intentionally kept that vague because he knew there would be hype. He knew that people want to watch him play, particularly because he is not your standard jungler. He's never been that. He was the guy that was building Knight's Vow on Lee Sin, going full tank Rengar in Worlds Finals. He's such a bizarre player, but he's been part of this system for so long. He knows how they play. He's not going to come in and inject something that MVK doesn't know how to play around and sort of stumble there. He's going to fit in like a cog in the machine. And while Guri's had an excellent split, it's hard to overstate how much X Factor they're putting in here.
I mean, as you say, the inspiration for Vietnamese players probably even resonates with the young guns of today. The first ever Vietnamese player to make an LPL roster. So these are sort of accolades that you can't just throw around lightly and expect to not have an impact. Even the reputation, even as the kids would be saying these days, the aura of S of M cannot be understated. But obviously the match will determine who wins and who is the better jungler between S of M and Hizto. And to be fair, Hizto has been having a pretty good split so far, Carrix. To be fair to them, Team Secret Wales is currently sitting in second position. They are the first of the three VCS teams. They need to be respected on the Rift. They can't just come in here and go, we have S of M, we win. They need to play into TSW comfortably, confidently, and as we see here, some accolades: World's Championship 2020 second place, Carrix. I mean, that's no
he was
small feat.
And he was the gem of that roster as well. He was not like that roster was very strong in general. He wasn't necessarily the best player on it. I'd have to go back and watch some VODs. 2020 was a while ago. I'm old. My brain don't work that great. But he was this guy that all the eyes were on him. He, as I said, that's the final where he played Tank Rengar in, I think it was the game 3 that they won. Because they lost that final 1-3. And I think the Tank Rengar, I think he went like, I think he got like 15 kills or something. Like he went crazy and kind of carried that one win. I'd have to check my stats. I might be misremembering that. But he was a huge part of that roster. That winning LPL final, he was a massive part of that roster. VCS listed there, that is, of course, as a coach. And that was also huge. That was when they challenged Garm. Coming second in the VCS, it's easy to write that off and say, well, like, it's the VCS, you didn't win. But Garm were untouchable. Garm was so far ahead of everyone else. Garm had Levy. That's exactly what you always wanted. This is always just incredible. It's such an insane legend. And to come back in a VCS derby, I think that's what's really important here. If he was coming up against, for example, Relove DCG, of course they know who he is. Of course they know his legacy, but he's not their legacy. SFM is part of the VCS. He's part of this Vietnamese League of Legends legacy. And I just cannot wait for him to be back on the Rift. I'm so excited.
You're right, Carrix. You cannot talk about the VCS without talking about S of M, just like we have our modern day version in Levy. But we can talk more about that as we go to the right fist bump before tonight's games. And we are back for tonight's VCS derby between Team Secret Wales and MVK Esports, Carrix. As we were talking about, S of M has made his return to Summoner's Rift here in the LCP 2026 Split 1. But I am excited to see how this game plays out. I would absolutely expect this best of 3 to go the distance, with MVK being inspired, uplifted, and rallying around SFM, Carrix.
Yeah, and I did go back and check. The Tank Rengar game was the game they won in that series. I did remember correctly. This is, I'm going to sound like a broken record. This is just such a shot in the arm for this team. And coming out onto the stage, Hizto and S of M. The grand return doesn't look like a huge amount of hype on stage. Hizto, interestingly enough, is that newer player to the VCS. Maybe not as overawed by S of M as he would be by someone like Levy, but it's Dyer and Carty joining them. Our ADCs next out.
And not to be forgotten, Pun and Kratos were first to walk on the top laners of their respective teams. But as you say, the ADs, Eddie of Team Secret Wales and Shogun of MVK East. Oh, that was a good fist bump. That was like a punch bump. I liked that energy there. They're keen, they're excited, they're ready for these games, and not to be overshadowed by their peers in the bot lane, the supports, BA and Elio. We do love to see it. We get those respectful bows, the fist bumps, and even facing towards the crowd, putting on a bit of a show. Now, Carrix, one day we're going to sit in that arena. We're going to see these gamers take to the stage, but not before the coaches walk on as well. The coaches, the strategic minds behind these teams, they cannot be forgotten in these sorts of games, Carrix.
No, they can't, and the coaches are going to be really important here, particularly over on the side of Team Secret Wales, because as I was sort of saying, Vietnam has this legacy of junglers. Levy, the one that comes to everyone's mind, but Levy came after SFM, and Levy's talked about the inspiration he's had from this player. And what's so interesting is we've got this really healthy mix of VCS veterans and sort of newer players. And I say newer, there's no rookies in this one, but it is somewhat newer. Someone like Carty or BA that sort of played alongside Levy, who had so much respect for SFM, maybe it's having a bit more of an effect on them, while someone like Histo, who has to go up against him. Histo, we have to put a lot of focus on him because he is going to be the direct opposite to this returning legend. He's a fairly young VCS player. Maybe he just doesn't care.
It could also be a respect your elders angle, but the respect still needs to be earned. I think Histo would grow up in the VCS hearing the legends of Levy and S of M. Obviously, S of M being sort of a more historical legend than Levy being obviously more current. So maybe Histo would be a bit more excited by Levy, but obviously he gets to play into S of M tonight, and he will learn firsthand if S of M still has those hands, still is that legendary figure of years gone, Carrix. But we are here looking at our 2v2 matchup where they will fight it out for the right of first selection. The winner will choose priority on either which side to play or if they draft first or second. And we already have Team Secret Wales banning out Draven and Varus, Carrix.
Makes total sense. You see that they've sent up Shogun. You don't want to let those ADCs through, particularly those incredibly strong 1v1 ADCs of Varus at the moment. Well, on this patch, not so much at the moment on the live servers, was the third best top laner in the game because no one can 1v1 him. You don't really want to let him get through in a 2v2, and Shogun has a mean Draven. Histo immediately going to the Elise. I'm sure this isn't his thinking, but I just have a fun fact. Histo is about to go up against SFM. One of the weird accolades that SOFM has is that I think it was in 2018, he played a game of Elise where he did not miss a single cocoon the entire game.
Wow.
He hit every single one. That's just absurd.
The 100% skill shot hit rate. So Histo looking to try and show off in front of SFM, maybe put those cocoons down with that 100% hit rate, paying respect there as the Elise is paired off with the Volibear. And we did see on the opposite side, the Anivia Poppies. So they're going to try and get creative with those Anivia walls, get those Poppy slams, get that CC down, the steadfast presence to prevent any dashing. But frankly, Elise and Volibear, they don't have that much, Carrix. I think that steadfast presence isn't going to have much utility here in this 2v2 tonight.
No, I don't think it really will. We're sort of not stopping too much. I think it has a weird interaction with Elise Spider Q, because that does move you. I'm actually not 100% sure how that works. I remember there being something weird where the damage goes through, but she still gets knocked down. So that could come up, but I think this is just going to be for the strong 1v1ing power of the Poppy. I think you just want to put an Anivia wall up and slam someone into it.
And there's that cocoon. 100% hit rate so far. We do just see them trading a little bit back and forth cheekily prior to the wave arriving. Now, obviously, Anivia has that passive, that free death, so is able to trade a little more aggressively, but you still can't throw it away because there's that countdown timer. And if both of Team Secret Whales are up, there's a good chance they'll be able to crack that egg before the respawn.
Oh, but they're just going to immediately move forward, and they see their opportunity. Shogun a little bit spread out. Cardi didn't have a stun ready. First kill for the Whales, and they're just going to continue as they mean to go on.
Look, I think you just cannot give Pun Volley Bear. He just keeps showing the LCP that his volley is something to be feared. So not only did they get first blood, they've crashed this wave into the turret and they're chipping down at it nicely. But because of that lane priority, that advantage, they are able to take that recall and head back out to the Rift. They're definitely in a very strong position right now, Carrix.
I think when you get that first kill, obviously it is first to two, but it puts you in such a strong position because you can just wait and then start up a fight where even if one of you dies, it doesn't matter. Like you can essentially set up a play where you would trade 2 for 1, which would be bad, but because it ends as soon as you get that first kill, you just play for that. They are in a really strong position here, but of course, this is the side select. I do think that actually really matters in this series as well. I think getting Pun on a strong pick where he can really get in and try and bully Kratos has a lot of value.
For sure. I mean, if we can literally see Pun get this volley bear, which, 2 games and now the 2v2 matchup, he's shown his aggression. He's shown how good and strong he is on this champion. If they can ban that away from Pun, that will give Kratos a nice time in that top lane matchup. As we do see these two just sparring with one another, as you say, that passive from the volley bear really giving that lane advantage. But the Sky Splitter already doing so much damage if you don't respect it. You decide to walk into that storm. It's just, I don't see how MVK, well, I do. They can just get an Anivia stun into a wall, into a poppy slam.
Power of friendship. They just want it more. They believe it.
And that's the thing, right? Because these are the 2v2 matchups, they can have a bit more fun with it. They can pick these less likely combos. A stun does land on the Pun and there's no follow-up there. It's just a small bit of damage, which you'll heal straight back up as the wave crashes here, Carrix.
Yeah, wave comes in, just cleared out by Carti. I mean, it's a little bit hard to take this, to cast this super seriously because, of course, it is just this 2v2. I think MVK know that they're in so much trouble. That volley bear's going to jump at the tower and it's going to die.
Cardi did well to cleanse the cocoon that came out of his toe there just before as well, really avoiding any CC chain sort of follow-up. Pun could just snowball in and take him out, which it feels like Pun is just looking for that chance. But with the wave in front of him, it kind of buys the time that Cardi needs to recall. Oh,
Flash is used, cocoon misses, so Shogun will live for now, but the tower's getting lower, and again, Volley Bear can just jump on that tower at some point and blow it up.
We have hit the level 6s as well. So as you say, that Volley Bear ultimate can shut that tower down for a couple of seconds and allow them to sort of free hit. As we do see Cardi taking a recall here as well, looking to heal up, grab some items for what inevitably I feel is going to be the last push here. His Toe and Pun, they've picked up a couple more bits and pieces, a bit more AP and some health, so they can trade a bit more heavily. As we do see Cardi optimize into that MR and health to be able to handle that poke a little more. But we see, Cardi going more AP, so looking to put that damage down. They've got a tall order ahead of them though. Their turret is less than 50% and they still have to get 2 kills to win this one.
That they do, but in they go. Immediately forward, the bear drops down. The egg will be scrambled, and Team Secret Whales will be having the first selection.
I wonder what eggs they like, whether they go scrambled, whether they go hard-boiled, you know what I mean? Or whether they like an omelette.
Based on that one, it's smashed.
It's just annihilated. So Team Secret Whales have gone with second pick, which has given them blue side because MVK have picked red for themselves.
Yeah, I think that is becoming very, very standard, and it really hurts my brain to have second pick blue side. That's going to take a lot of getting used to. I'm going to be so real. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There's so many OPs on this patch, having the first 2 of the 3 picks. Most teams in game 1 specifically are judging that as more important. And then there's always been like the very slight edge of red side, just slightly easier access to dragon. That's a very slight edge, but you may as well take it.
Any advantage you can eke out is worth pursuing. It's like in Formula One, every 0.1 second is worth chasing down. And the same can be said here in League of Legends. Every single advantage, no matter how small it is worth chasing. Like they said in Fast and the Furious, whether you win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning, Carricks. And that is what these gamers are here to do tonight in TSW versus MVK's best of 3 series, where we see S of M returning to the Rift. Mate, I can't wait to get in this draft.
Me neither. And it's so interesting. I'd love to see where they go. Is there going to be a significant deviation in champion pool for MVK with S of M coming back in? How much has he been playing? That's something, it's really caught me out a little bit. I only heard yesterday that he's coming back in. I haven't had the time to go and find his solo queue account for that. I don't know if he's been playing. I don't know what he's been playing, and I'm so interested to find out.
Well, we don't have to wait for long because we are in the draft, Carricks, as we do see that very strong AD carry, Varus, banned away. First from Team Secret Wales, but it is responded in kind with a J4 and a Kali by MVK. They really want to remove some of those tools in the jungle and mid laner. They're kind of protecting their comp, protecting Cardi, as S of M now does not have to deal with a J4 in that jungle. The Rumble topside ban, Carricks. Does that mean we'll see a Cassante into something else?
I almost think you don't pick Cassante because you want to keep it. At some point, maybe you want to drop that Rumble ban as we go into the Fearless. You don't want to lock yourself out of having the Cassante pick into it, if that's where you feel you need to go. But I don't know if Cassante is going to fit the play style. I think Pun has been so strong recently. It's such a waste to put him on Cassante. Kratos is not a huge tank player either. Will we have a Cassante free series?
That would be wild. And I mean, yeah, the LCP, we're less than 20% sort of Rumble Cassante matchup. So
Orianna
it is
open,
likely. But Nico banned, Jace banned, and Orianna picked up first by MVK.
Nocturne also open. I think you have to first rotation Nocturne. You can't give Nocturne Orianna.
So with that Orianna, they've definitely given themselves that mid lane priority for Cardi, and Team Secret Wales responding in kind with the Yunara AD for Eddie and Rise for Dyer. I already like what I'm seeing coming out of Team Secret Wales, but obviously Orianna is the strongest control mage on the Rift right now, and demands a lot to be answered, and it looks like S of M is looking to slam that.
This is so free. Yeah, you 100% slam. This is arguably the strongest combo in the game. I think Team Secret Wales missed a trick here, or they've got something secret cooked up. You didn't need to lock Rise there. You could have picked Rise on 3. You could have picked Nocturne. You had to deny this combo. This is such a good start for MVK. They go the Aphelios as well. My word, they're putting together the Infinity Stones.
It is definitely a strong draft, and MVK, as we know, do like to cook in that kitchen, but I feel like Team Secret Wales has to have a plan to answer this one. They have to have some kind of response, a contingency here, because we did see the power of an Orianna Nocturne earlier in the split, and it was devastating. Even from behind, they were just able to get pick after pick and really drive home that advantage. Grabbing that Aphelios is a strong AD, especially into this Yunara. The flexibility Aphelios is able to bring to the Rift and the damage, quite significant, but Histo has picked up the Jin Zhao, so we will see that bruiser sort of frontliner with the crescent guard able to repel the likes of MVK's dive, potentially being able to put paid to anything that this Nocturne might want to do. And they have banned that classic matchup with Thresh, so no Thresh or Felios in the bot lane for MVK here, Carrix.
I do think we'll see MVK attacking the support pool as well. I think supports actually could get pushed kind of low here. Yeah, Ali taken away. Top lane is kind of free to do whatever they want. It's really only the Rumble that's been removed, so investing more bans doesn't make a huge amount of sense there. So yeah, supports might be pushed pretty low on the priority. Lulu taken away. That's the two best supports to pair with Aphelios gone. We could still see the Seraphine that's been creeping back in. Rakan obviously still around. I think for Team Secret Wales, I want to see an engaged support. I think a Nautilus makes a lot of sense.
Potentially a rel.
Braum actually could go crazy.
We have also seen BA on that rel and perform well, get some really good engages. So that could be the engaged support that this Team Secret Wales comp needs. Would be able to do that crash down sort of stun magnet storm to keep MVK off of that Yunara. So strong potential there. But as you so rightfully called, they have just banned supports out of this game nearly, barred the final ban for MVK. Again, that magical journey, that tempered fate, that play-making powerhouse and roaming superstar gone, will not be on the Rift. But BA has picked up Rakan. This is interesting. This should be able to stop a lot of the sort of engaged that MVK might be looking to assemble.
It is a really strong pick here. I think it makes a lot of sense. It can kind of catch the dive from the Nocturne. It threatens the immobile. Aphelios obviously doesn't have that Thresh to reposition him. Leona, I mean... do you think you can tell me what MVK's comp can do? Because I don't think it's too hard to guess.
Ooh, we do see obviously that Leona picked up for Elio, but the hover of Cassante. So that'll leave Team Secret Wales with the counter pick here. No. Oh no. Not the volley. Pun on volley is unstoppable, Carrix. We've seen it too many times. Is this their secret weapon that's not so secret? Could this be the thing to tear apart this Ori Nocturne combo?
That is really interesting. I actually really, really like this because we saw when he brought this out last time, Pun wins the isolated matchup on the Volley Bear. And it is going to be an isolated matchup. You aren't playing around top lane if you're MVK. I liked the Cassante pick as much as I was talking about maybe we get a Cassante free series. That would have been nice, but it did make sense in this matchup because SFM is not pathing top. Unless there's like a huge error and someone's low enough to dive, he probably doesn't path top. It's all about going to be around mid lane, bot lane fights, and fights around dragon control with that combo. You just want to leave Cassante on his own. And I like that Pun was just like, oh, you're going to leave us alone? Okay, give me Volley Bear. I'll be 40 CS up and solo killing twice.
You are absolutely correct in that assessment. Pun on the volley will monster this top lane, and all of that priority will go to that bot side. So it is up to the likes of Elio and Shogun to be able to respond to the pressure that S of M, Eddie, BA, Dyer, they're going to be just applying here. But Kratos cam a little to the left. We're getting a versus cam there for Kratos, but we do see Team Secret Wales ready. We do see MVK Esports ready here as we hit Summoner's Rift for game one of tonight's best of three VCS Derby. Carrix, welcome back, S of M.
On the Rift once more. For the first time in a very, very long time in a league that didn't exist the last time he played. What? There you go. The jungle comeback after 1,267 days. My, oh my, Logan, what a treat we have.
If I can return to anything after 1,267 days and return with fanfare and stories of past legend and grandeur, I'd be pretty happy with that, Carrix. So that, you know what? I'm inspired. That's going to be my legacy, to do something and come back 1,200 plus days later and still be remembered for what I did, because that's just fantastic.
It does really show the legacy he's left. Not a lot of players can boast that long after your retirement, people are still so hyped to see you play, still so hyped and imagine that it's more than just a bit of fun. Like they do these these old man tournaments that they've been doing, and they're really fun. Don't get me. That's literally what they call them, by the way. I'm not just being mean. And they're really fun. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy them. But no one's pretending that these players are like ready to come back to the pro scene. S/M thinks he is, though. And how hype is that?
It's very, very hype. I'm sure a lot of VCS fans will be tuned in tonight, not only because it is the derby, because it is the return of the legend. But enough about the legend for now. We do see both junglers taking different paths. His toe is in his top side, whereas S/M is in his bot side, putting that priority down on the bot, as you called out. BA here, though, getting traded on quite heavily in this bot, just caught out there for a moment. I think a Leona Zenith Blade was able to snag him up as Shogun poked him down there, Carrix.
Yeah, it was a good little trade there onto BA. We'll be able to heal back up with the pots and with the Qs slowly coming out. This is a lane, again, in the 2v2, I don't expect a huge amount to happen. I'm not... You know, it's not a Draven lane where I really expect Shogun to try and set something up, try and go nuts. He's just playing the Aphelios. They're reasonably happy to scale, but the priority is going to be mission critical, particularly, and this is so obvious, at that level 5, level 6. If they have heavy priority, they have a big lane stacked into tower, and Nocturne and Orianna are level 6, they're going bot lane.
And that will come through. That will show, that will shine later on as we do get through these early stages. His toe got his Scuttle Crab and looks to be recalling, but S/M just harassing him slightly, just trying to slow his tempo down, trying to prevent that recall before going back into his own jungle and continuing the clear there. We do see Shogun sub 50% without any healing pots, and Eddie is quite healthy and does still have a healing pot in hand. So Eddie currently has that small health advantage over Shogun, but that is a Leona Aphelios that can turn around at a moment's notice. But right now, I'm noticing Team Secret Whales have slight gold advantages across the lanes. Hopefully they're able to hold on to that and maybe even snowball it. But I feel like I'm talking about late game energy here when it's still the first 4 minutes and his toe... Sorry?
How did they get 2 crabs? I took my eyes off the junglers, which, I mean, with S/M's return, was clearly a mistake. It's pun. It's a nice trade onto Kratos. Need to be very careful against the bear. He took a reset.
Yeah, his toe recalled and was able to run back out and grab that bot side scuttle as well. So currently having secured both scuttle crabs, that small advantage. We do go back to top side. They are both out of mana, so they will be taking those recalls and those waves will crash. They'll be able to TP back out and continue their farming frenzy up in that top lane there, Carrix. And Shogun himself returns to lane on the bot side.
Did get that reset. Comes back in, he has the cull. This does signal, of course, what I was saying. You're just scaling. You're playing the Aphelios. You just kind of want to chill out a little bit. Actually manages to clear that ward there. Pretty nice for him. Just denying a little bit of vision, denying potentially some pathing for the jungler. With this blue gun, not hard to secure push for the Aphelios lane. You could have seen S/M try and sneak in the back. Not going to happen. At the moment, of course, Eddie is able to control this wave, and Team Secret Whales are playing on the front foot.
Yeah, and S/M is returning to the Rift, but is met by Dyer here. Dyer just putting that ward down, and S/M able to clear it out. Did see that one go down. There was a control ward, and just spotted it, cleared it out. Really good to be winning these vision control sort of battles as well, because Nocturne, we saw last night, they had deep vision control in the bot side jungle, and the Nocturne was able to just let rip on those ults out of nowhere. You weren't safe anywhere. And so far, we're not seeing that sort of vision control playing out for MVK to get S of M that advantage, the ability to rip the ult at a moment's notice. Admittedly, no ults there for the junglers just yet, but they are one camp away, and we can expect the heat to turn up in this VCS derby, Carrix.
That we can, and it is, yeah, it's time to have your eyes glued to SFM more than mine already have been. As Paranoia unlocked, Orianna, Shockwave available, it's all vision control now. This current position on the Phalite, I think that was Hizto, got that ward down. This is actually really important. They know where SFM is. They know that he can't appear out of nowhere. Obviously could dive to the bot lane. You don't want to do that at the moment. And Hizto has the job of just, you have to be on the same side of the map as him at all times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I say it a lot, but sometimes when you say something right, you got to agree with it, and I agree with that. BA there just cheekily being in range of Shogun, and Shogun just being like, all right, I'll trade, but it did nothing. BA did have that shield. We do see Pun has eked out a 10 CS advantage. It's not the biggest, but it is a sign of the lane dominance that we can expect from Pun, that Pun has shown.
Ult being ripped doesn't go under the tower, but Kratos can't find the all-out angle to respond, and ooh, here comes the rise. They reset the tower. Kratos has to run away. Flash is being used for the positioning, and the overload's there. Dire just finds the timing. Lovely stuff from the Whales.
Very, very nearly a disaster there, as Pun actually went out of the tower range to drop that aggro, as Dire went in and got the aggro for himself. So Dire was forced to flash away to save himself. So well played by Kratos there. A little mismanagement from Team Secret Whales, but ultimately they came out on top with that kill on Kratos, while S of M is just going in on these grubs. He's looking to get them for himself. They have that vision priority, and he's able to take these for free right now, Carrix. This is the sort of proactivity you love to see bot side.
Oh no, Shogun very caught out here. Has to try and run. Uses that Severum ultimate to get some health back, but Eddie will secure it with a flash. And this is the last thing we want to see out of MVK. Elio moved to mid to try and secure grub prior, and Shogun just didn't respect the situation.
We do go back to this top lane here. So Pun slightly caught by Kratos. Ults back into Kratos. A good Sky Splitter forcing the flash out. Kratos having to respect that damage. Pun goes back in, gets a heal, but takes 2 turret shots. Drops the aggro. So Dire is getting a ramped turret shot and is forced to flash here. Like, one more turret shot on either of them would have been a 1-for-1, maybe even no kills for TSW. So forced to sort of commit even more resources than they would have, as Pun just casually kind of bullying S of M. This is what he does. He gets that lane priority. He's easily able to 1v1 his opponent in the top lane, and then he pushes that into proxies. He pushes that into jungle pressure. He's just a menace.
Really good movement by BA. Just read that there was no vision there. Saw Shogun stepping up to put a ward down. Absolutely no hope. Really, really good punish from Team Secret Whales. And this is sort of the other side. We've been hyping up SFM, and we have to. It's such a massive movement out of MVK. We have to talk about it. But Team Secret Whales, as I was saying earlier, they are probably the best Vietnamese team in the LCP. They sit right near the top of the table. Should they win tonight, they will be top of the table. We have to never, ever underestimate them. And if you do underestimate them, you get punished.
Punished indeed. Pun just styling on Kratos there. Even did a little little dance stop spam there just to style. We see Elio going in, but unfortunately it's just going to be a small trade. They're not going to be able to 2v1 TSW's Eddie like TSW were able to do to Shogun, but we do see S of M here in the background.
Yeah, they're moving in. A lovely Zenith Blade should move them in immediately onto Eddie. They disengage. Let that tower settle down. The teleport from Pun should mean an evacuation. SFM really low, flashing over the wall. Lovely movement there. Pun in some trouble. The ball's behind him. There's a shockwave, and they shut him down. They skidded the bear. Realm Warp. They want to move forward onto Shogun, but he's being kept safe by the rest of his team, and MVK win out the play.
Great response from MVK there. They were able to get that numbers advantage. Cardi was able to roam down in time. Very aggressive TP came out of Pun for that fight, obviously wanting to turn the favor in back of TSW, but unfortunately the numbers advantage from MVK was just too strong. As we do go back to this replay, Elio gets a great Zenith Blade onto Eddie here, able to lock him down with that Solar Flare. Shogun unfortunately missing with the Q, but it's still about 50% damage, which sets up this really nice dive that we're going to see out of S of M. He skirts that vision, Zenith Blade in. So Leona, again, unfortunately not getting that turret aggro. It is on S of M here, and they get their kill, 3v1. Now Pun, he sees 4, and initially you see him go back, and then he decides 3v4, we can definitely take them here. But unfortunately, Cardi had rotated, still had that ultimate available, and was able to break open that volley bear with that command shockwave damage. Meanwhile, back on live, we do see Team Secret Whales get the first Drake of the game, and it is an Ocean Drake, Carrix.
Ocean Drake is secured again. We sort of saw it with the Grubs earlier. You use ultimates top, you invest priority into getting kills. You probably do surrender an objective on the other side, but you'll take that every day of the week if you're MVK. So we come back into live. It is just this very slight gold lead for Team Secret Whales, but that is almost entirely in the top lane matchup because even though Pun did die, it's not like Kratos benefited.
And I mean, Pun is just playing so aggressively. This is the Pun that we've seen before. Ooh, nice moves there from Kratos to avoid that Sky Splitter damage as well. But Pun is undeterred. He is willing to pull that trigger, TP down in these fights to give his team that advantage. It was just really smart heads-up play from Cardi there to roam to the bot side as he's getting some serious poke down on his opposition here, Dyer. Now, I did see an interesting little thing today, actually. Dyer is currently in the running for top 3 highest LP in the solo queue on his server right now, Carrix. He is a menace in solo queue right now. I think it's like 1,911 LP. You can't tell me that's not impressive.
Yeah, he's going crazy. And it's always so interesting when we look at the solo queue, how it translates over to pro. But what it really represents is just that they're grinding. They're taking it super seriously. This has been a massive run out of these players, and they just want to keep it going. Because as we've said a few times over the course of this week, this is our last week of the regular split. We are playoffs next week, and that's where everything counts.
Every single win matters. Every single championship point matters. And that's why we're going to our second coach comms from Team Secret Whales of the game. Each team has access to up to 3 coach comms per game. Each coach comms is a maximum of 45 seconds. It is an opportunity, an injection of strategy, potential perspective that the gamers on the Rift that they themselves may not be able to see, such as Kratos has caught up to the CS differential that was there with Pun, so he's doing really well there. In fact, Carrix, it's pretty evenly matched across the Rift. Even the role quests, it's 3 apiece. Pun able to run this one out. I thought maybe he would have been caught, Carrix, but he's too quick.
It is very even at the moment, as you said, and I think it is just going to come down to when they decide to pull the trigger on these combos. MVK's comp is so obvious in what they want to do. It's not going to be around this Rift Herald. They're probably too late to it, no. With the teleport, and this is actually something I've talked about so much, the support able to get there on time and appropriately leveled because of the Unsealed Spellbook teleport. Really good stuff there from Elio. It might be around this Rift Herald now. It might be around the next Dragon. It's just going to come down to when do we pull the Nocturne Orianna trigger, and can Team Secret Whales position in a way that allows them to survive that first attack, because if they can, you're going to see Dyer and Eddie take over.
Dyer and Eddie will be scary once they're online. We do just see Eddie getting that second item, so does have a small item advantage over Shogun there. Dyer completing that Rod of Ages, both one item apiece in the mid lane, both junglers, both top laners. It's good to see these items coming through. We start to see them feeling more comfortable, more confident, more familiar with the champions that they know and love, who have sort of more solid, more complete item builds, if you will. As we're still doing this dance, Carrix, this Rift Herald has been started up twice now, and both Team Secret Whales and MVK are not willing to let the other just have it for free.
Ooh, Dyer though both sides. Spots the angle to just ghost forward, burn Cardi's flash, and that's really important. This Orianna is mission critical for MVK. Now incredibly vulnerable. I think that play probably just gets them the Rift Herald. Yeah, I don't think MVK will contest this.
Cardi probably does not want to walk up into what was 3 members of Team Secret Whales, but all the pings are coming down on the map, Carrix. They might be looking to clean this one up after the Rift Herald goes down. Let's see how it plays out.
They just get it. I mean, I just don't think that was ever going to be a contest. They pick it up. MVK will use that moment to try and get priority. They don't even really clear this mid wave super cleanly. Teleport down to the bot side. MVK will probably leverage this into a dragon. But we go back to a tense stance.
Yeah, and we did see Pun commit that TP, actually. Did get himself that really nice shield from that top roll quest completion here. But MVK, they got to the Drake first. They have priority, they have vision. So TSW recognizing this, they're just going to give it over.
In onto Cardi with no flash. Elio's arrival will keep him safe though.
I mean, Pun just tanking Cardi up very, very nicely there. Getting those Sky Splitter shields, getting those the heals off the E as well. Really well played. That 2v1, I don't know, I feel like Pun still could have taken that fight as Cardi does recall. And we see sort of a reset here. Just some fighting over priority, able to push these waves in, give your team that small advantage. It is another minute and a half before the very first Baron of tonight's game 1, but it feels a bit slow. We've only had 5 kills here, Carrix, in this near 19 minutes game. I was expecting more out of the Orianna Nocturne combo. I definitely think it's got to do with this vision control, or in this case, lack thereof, Carrix.
But this is it actually just showing the strength of Team Secret Whales, in my opinion. As Kratos will get bullied away. He's still timing that third order attack well, but it's still a Cassante. Not going to be able to cut him down. Dyer getting the top lane tower. But as I was saying, this Nocturne Orianna is so powerful, because if there's any misstep for even a moment, you can punish on it. But what if you just don't misstep? What if you're just that good? What if you're just those guys?
Team Secret Whales must be feeling themselves.
Ooh, Pun is taking a lot of damage. Cardi takes him down.
Did that feel strange to you? That felt strange to me, Carrix. I'm quite surprised that Pun died there. Not because MVK pulled the trigger, but I genuinely thought Pun would be able to walk away, like get away from that, but the command shockwave to pull him back in, the Zenith Blade to root him up, the Q from Leona as well, delivering that stun, and Pun just unable to get that shielding from the Sky Splitter, couldn't get that healing back from that E as well. Just a good play from MVK here. Pun.
His ult comes up like maybe a second after he dies. Yeah, it comes up about 2 seconds after he dies, and he would have been able to jump away. That's unfortunate.
Just good play from MVK there. They picked themselves up Puns and put that into the pocket of Cardi, which is someone that you want accelerated. You want that powerful Orianna to be able to deliver that damage. We do see some more trading here.
Yeah, Kratos does do a good job clearing out that initial wave. Won't be able to stop it forever, though. And this is the other side. Oh, hang on a second. We need to go back to Carti. Still does not have that flash. Uses the shockwave to make distance. And I think Pun might want some revenge as he flies into the fight. Takes down that first kill. Elio in trouble as well as Eddie arrives. Transcends above. And Pun and Eddie work together to cut down Elio.
Well played. Great transcendence in that slow from Yanara to be able to keep Elio around that little bit longer, help with the cooldowns as Team Secret Wales look to convert this topside advantage they earned for themselves into a Baron. But S of M is here. Shogun is here.
But your
Kratos
composition doesn't
is here.
work. The Orianna's not here. As they immediately go in onto Nocturne and Kratos. They're doing a lot of damage. Pun has to run away. Baron sitting at 3,000 health. His toe low but not dead. Baron is secured. Do they go for the fight? They absolutely do. Turning in onto Kratos in that all-out, managing to dash away. Shogun is scary, has the white gun. Pun, shields, kind of on the wrong side of this one. Might just be the sacrificial bear to get the rest of his team away. 4 Baron buff secured.
Nicely played by Team Secret Wales, and a good call from MVK there to be able to sort of prolong that fight, poke Team Secret Wales out, push them off Baron a little bit to slow down that damage while their team came back online. As we see here, his toe is farming the blue buff and gets that Scryers up onto Cardi and puts himself up. Oh, really perfect there. Able to get that slow onto Cardi, Crescent Guard immediately. Cardi with no flash is just caught. As we see in live, the Rift Herald cracks that tier 1 turret as well. Elio here, unfortunately, one support versus a jungler top laner in AD. Elio was always going to die. The best he could do there was potentially delay Team Secret Wales, but that is how TSW found themselves in a 5v3 advantage on the Baron. As we saw, they did secure that Baron and Pun went down, so they do have 4 Baron-empowered players on their side, and MVK were forced to defend that tier 1 turret in mid as the Rift Herald cracked it wide open. Team Secret Wales, they've currently got 3 turrets right now, Carrix. They do have a 2,000 gold lead advantage, and it looks like they're going to get this second Drake.
And you know things have gotten interesting when Baron buffed players are pushing with a Rift Herald. Things have always gotten a little bit wacky when that's happening, and we're seeing it in this game. Team Secret Wales, they're showing why they're currently second in the LCP. Again, if they win this series, if they win, I'm not sure, do they have to win 2-0 to get back on top? Does a 2-1 that still get them there? I'm not 100% sure on that. But regardless, a win tonight puts them in very, very prime form going into playoffs.
It basically guarantees their entry into playoffs. Here in the LCP, the playoffs is the top 6 in the region. So currently, Relove DCG being in first place, they're in, they're through. They've won 5 and only lost the 1. But here, MVK, they're roaming as a group. They are on the hunt. I need to see more vision coming out of Elio. Elio needs to be the one clearing the wards, putting them deep in TSW's jungle, setting up S of M, as Pun knows he's on the wrong side and has to retreat.
Yeah, Pun does just manage to get away, and I think something we have to point out, Nocturne Orianna hasn't happened a single time. We're 25 minutes into the game. The combo falls off. I think
they definitely...
MVK, you've got to step on the gas, and that's really hard into Baron. That's really hard when you're 2,500 gold down, but you've got to do it. Your composition kind of only does one thing. It's a really strong thing, but it is still only one thing.
And as your opponents do get stronger, as you say, that combo does fall off a little bit. It just feels like they haven't been able to sync these two up. Cardi and S of M need to be able to work together and pull this trigger together. It needs to already be a 2v2 situation. And then this Nocturne just comes in over the top. Orianna having put that command shockwave onto that Nocturne, diving into the midst of the fight, delivering that wombo combo as we see it happen.
Yeah, they go in. It doesn't really work out, though. The shockwave lands on nobody. S of M too far forward, taken down. Now MVK are just on the run. Oh, my word.
we wanted the combo, we got the combo, but it did not work out in the favor of MVK. Eddie was so quick on that flash, able to avoid everything that S of M was looking to put down, and TSW just responds so well in the face of that Nocturne Orianna combo as the fight continues.
And with the Nocturne Orianna out of play, with the Nocturne down, you can just go under the tower, turn it off for Pun, pick up another kill, and Team Secret Whales are just in full control.
Absolutely, they are. Team Secret Whales going to crack this mid-tier 2, get themselves a lot of map priority here, netting themselves a great amount of gold. They're currently 4,500 gold up over MVK right now. Team Secret Whales are doing everything right to put themselves in a great position, especially responding to the Nocturne Orianna combo. We see it here, Eddie flashing away, able to avoid that initial engage. S of M retreats immediately, knowing that that initial engage has unfortunately failed, tries to get back out. But Team Secret Whales, they were ready. They were grouped up. They turned it around and got the jungler. They got S of M on that Nocturne, which gave themselves that advantage. They cleared this jungle out and then went in for another play here. They came back for more Carrick's. Pun over the top, eats Elio alive, shuts down that turret, and they secure themselves that tier 2 as well. Look at the damage coming out of Cardi. He is trying his best. It's just not resulting in any kills right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just not being leveraged where it matters, where it is going to set up. He needs to be landing 3 4-man ultimates. So far, that just hasn't come in. It needs to be set up better. They need to have that better vision control. I think if you're just going straight down mid lane on the Nocturne, that's not how you want to do it. And I know the Nocturne hasn't been working out so far, but I do just have to point out how classic S of M this is. He's gone Zeke's second item.
I did notice that actually. As soon as he hit that paranoia, I saw the Zeeks, which is obviously going to give you value and more value because you've also got that experimental Hextech plate there to hasten your ultimate. And it does put down a little bit more damage, but I question the decision rather than a more aggressive item on that champion in this situation. Maybe even a defensive one, a bit more focused on defense to be able to survive that initial engage, because right now that Nocturne is crumbling like paper in the face of TSW. And they look to secure themselves the third Drake of the game. MVK, they're not even in the region to contest this. The jungler's not even here for this one.
Yeah, they just don't need to be. Oh, hello! Paranoia, there's the nightmare as S of M finds his way in, steals away the dragon. They turn it around onto Pun. What a lovely little play.
I'm happy to be proven wrong there, Carricks. S of M pulls the trigger, grabs the Drake, and is able to kill Pun with the support of his team as well. That's a play from MVK, Carricks, and I am stoked to see it. They're definitely saying, hey, we're not out of this game. We might be down in some CS, but we're not out of this fight. We are ready to scrap it with the number 2 team here in the LCP, and they look to be converting this priority into some kind of Baron play. Whether it's going to be just to force TSW into them, we'll see how it plays out.
Baron getting lower and lower. Shogun able to rain damage in over the wall. Team Secret Whales wants to continue this. They didn't let it reset. MVK sort of offered a, hey, why don't we call this off? But they knew it, they didn't have to because Shogun was out of position, immediately taken down. Should be traded back, but no, his toe lives until the shockwave is used. Eddie ripped over the wall. Can Kratos solo him out? He can. A massive kill back, but Dire still running through. Pun massive on this bear as Team Secret Whales stop the Baron and get themselves a huge position on the map.
Fantastic job there by Kratos backside, though, to be able to rip Eddie out of that fight, mitigating the damage that Eddie would be bringing to bear with that Yunara. Really do like that call. Get a really scrappy fight there, and Team Secret Whales able to apply a bit more pressure on that mid lane. Unfortunately, Team Secret Whales did lose his toe, their jungler, so they have to back away. They can't start the Baron or contest that Baron themselves. They just push some waves out for priority, and we do see the pings coming down, Carrick's. It looks like they want a round 2 on this Baron as everyone is now alive back on the Rift, ready for these 5v5s. Here's the replay, and BA gets a great angle with his quickness. Charms 5. That was a 5-person charm. As his toe goes in and survives for quite a while, and it's Pun against 2 in the back lines. Dire, as we
come
go back to live
though, as S of M deep in the enemy jungle, does have the flash, but just holding it for now, getting over the wall. Pun ults towards him. They want to take this jungler off the map. They should be able to solo him out. The other side of the fight is where it's going to really matter, as Eddie has picked up that first kill. Dire is running rampant. Someone we haven't talked about enough this game has been this Rise. Scaling, killing as Dire and Eddie go crazy on the fight.
Clean Ace coming out of Team Secret Wales. Dire hadn't even used the Realm Warp, so was able to use that to get Team Secret Wales into the base of MVK even quicker. They look to be going for the win here, Carrick's. They've got the Nexus Turret 1. They're going to get the Nexus Turret 2. Team Secret Wales take Game 1 of tonight's best of 3 VCS derby against MVK, Carrick's. Great game.
Yeah, and the return to the Rift from S of M doesn't go how they would have wanted. Team Secret Wales just showing that they are absolute class. This is why they're high on the ladder. This is why they're the best Vietnamese team in this league. They are just looking unstoppable, frankly. I was so worried when they gave away Nocturne Orianna. They didn't have to. Orianna was first pick. They could have stolen the Nocturne. They just said, we think we can beat it anyway. And I'm going to be so real. If you get given Nocturne Orianna and you lose like that, what are you doing in Game 2?
They did assemble, as you said, the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. They had the Ori, they had the Nocturne, they had that Aphelios as well. And unfortunately, despite being able to get a lot of that damage down, they weren't able to close that game out. They weren't able to pull those levers and get the picks they needed in the times they needed them. And frankly, I almost think it just comes down to vision. I really think that Elio had to be in the enemy jungle more, getting more wards down deep in the enemy's half of this rift. And Pun had so much priority on that top side. It felt like Kratos, unfortunately, wasn't able to contribute too much because Pun was able to zone him away, or when Kratos did, it was late in the fight, so he wasn't able to really make his presence known in these team fights.
It's hard to really break down where everything went wrong because it was death by 1,000 cuts. Team Secret Wales, they got ahead in lanes and never presented an opportunity for the Nocturne Orianna. The only time we really saw that combo used was in that mid lane. I'm sure we'll have a highlight that runs for it, but Carty was shut out of the game for the most part. He dealt a lot of damage on a damage graph, but when it came to useful damage in teamfight, he was outclassed by Dire, by Eddie.
And getting caught as well, meaning that even if you wanted to, obviously one of those pieces of the two-piece combo is out of the game. If Orianna's dead, you can't do the Nocturne Orianna combo, and likewise for the Nocturne. BA had a ripper of a game as well, being able to get that 5-person charm here around that Baron pit, really buying time for Team Secret Wales to collapse and apply the pressure where they needed to. A lot of valuable knockups, being able to save his team. S of M gets a good engage here in this 1v1, but just starts to lose it in that sort of protracted fight. MVK respond, but Team Secret Wales respond faster. So unfortunately, the jungler is caught a little too deep, and Team Secret Wales, I think they just straight up wallet diff MVK here.
I think they everything diffed them. They were massively ahead in gold. They were just better positioned. They had better synergy. Team Secret Wales, I'm just so impressed with this team. We spent the pregame talking about SFM, of course, but I want to use this little time that we have here to just sing the praises of Team Secret Wales. This is such a glow up for this team. This was a team that never really broke out of being third in the VCS in sort of all their different incarnations when they were Team Secret, when they were Wales. They were always third. They broke into second once or twice, but they definitely never really challenged Garm. Well, now they've really beaten Garm, and they're looking to add a second head on their VCS like spikes. I'm loving it. I'm here for the Team Secret Wales run.
You are absolutely correct. They have had the glow up, and let's hope MVK are able to glow up right after this break as we come back to the LCP where we're made for this.
Put your hands up, look back at it, make them stand up, stand up. Shake it. Shake it. Drop, 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 drop. Shake it. Drop, 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 drop. Shake it. Arch your back with it, arch your back with it, arch your back with it, put 'em in a trance. Arch your back with it, arch your back with it, arch your back with it, put 'em in a trance. Shake, 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 get low. Shake, shake, give 'em what they came for. Give 'em what they came, give 'em what they came for. Give 'em what they came, give 'em what they came for. There ain't no stopping this groove. Let the groove get into you. Put your hands up, look back at it, make them stand up, stand up. Shake it. Shake it. Drop, 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 drop. Shake it. Drop, 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 drop. Shake it. Shake, 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 get low. Shake, shake, give 'em what they came. Shake it. Give 'em what they came. Give 'em what they came for. Give 'em what they came. Give 'em what they came. Shake it. When you feel like all is lost, keep your head now, don't give up. Come with the sand, we will be all together in unity. Take my hand and join us now, 'cause we are moving in unity. Side by side, we'll be as one, 'cause we are moving in unity. We are one and we are moving in unity.
It's best of 3 series, the VCS derby between Team Secret Wales and MVK Esports, who have SOFM back on the roster there, Carricks. Game 1 done and dusted. For game 2, how can they turn it around, I ask myself? Vision control. I know they don't have a Nocturne here in this one, but I really do feel like Elio could have done a bit better on the vision control, allowing SOFM on that Nocturne to be able to dive again and again and link up with that Oriana. Do you have any thoughts on that one, mate?
I think it's hard here to predict the draft. I think it was hard to predict that game 1 draft as well. I just didn't expect Oriana Nocturne to be given over in the way that it was. You don't have any combos that are as obvious and explosive on the patch, but there's still so many things open. Rumble is available and Cassante is gone. I could see Team Secret Wales potentially trying to force a first pick Rumble for Pun, really let him off the chain again.
Yeah, frankly, giving that sort of selection over could be quite beneficial. As you say, the Rumble open, but we do have a lot of other classic top laners. We've got that Renekton, we've got the Ornn here, so that could lead to some interesting matchups that we don't all too often see here. But that Volibear of Puns is gone, that absolute menace on that top side. So I really do think Kratos will be kind of unlocked. He shouldn't be as pressured as much or as heavily without Pun being on that comfort pick there in that top side. But I do want to look to that jungle matchup again. SOFM on that Nocturne, not able to link up with that Oriana and deliver those command shockwaves as much or with as much impact as we thought they might be able to pull off. But we do see that J4 has already been removed from that jungle pool, as has Jace. So we're already starting with those traditional jungler bans here. We're going to see some interesting and dynamic picks coming out of this jungle duo.
That we are. We're going to have to see where they go. I could see Malphite remaining available. Mbessa taken away does potentially put a little bit of value towards Renekton, to sort of that last sort of first string bully top laner. Wouldn't mind seeing that. Would love to see Pun being empowered there. That Rumble I mentioned before. I mean, they just kind of did exactly what I said, right?
No, yes, you didn't call it, but you did. You absolutely did call that one down. They grabbed that Rumble for themselves nice and early. That AP top lane bully in response to the bans that have come through. As we were saying, they've gone with the junglers and that classic Nico ban as well. But a cannon is coming through. This is quite an unusual pick. I thought Kiaya was the only one to have picked this so far, but it looks like Kratos is ready to tow it with the best of them on that top side there, Carrix. This is exciting. I like this.
Yeah, it seemed to be a really rehearsed pick as well. They seem to know that that's where they wanted to go. They wanted to just be able to pick up the cannon. Should do fine in the lane. Rumble likes bullying melees. He can't do it as much to ranged matchups. Should be reasonably safe, and then brings that big slicing maelstrom to the fight. They also pick up the Corki, answered immediately by the Kai'Sa, and the Kai'Sa always worries me. If you have any point and click CC, she can get out of a slicing maelstrom. She can reposition in the fight. When Kratos wants to go forward, she can jump to the back. It can be really difficult to deal with Eddie on this pick.
Interesting statistic, Carrix. Eddie has played Kai'Sa 5 times and has won 5 times. We cannot let Eddie get this Kai'Sa, but we see it coming through time and time again. So already the odds are stacked against MVK here with Eddie's hyperscaling carry Kai'Sa, as it is paired very nicely with BA's Nautilus, those depth charges, those dread lines, the auto attacks, the CC of Doom, and the beefy wall that Nautilus can bring. But it is responded in kind with another beefy wall in Braum. Just throw up that door and ignore all of that damage. Is able to frontline very, very effectively, and pairs nicely with that Corki being able to, jump around with the W. I like the Braum, able to prevent a lot of the damage that Team Secret Whales is looking to put down. We do see a mid lane ban of Akali coming through, and quickly responded to with 2 more jungler bans. The Lee Sin, as you have said previously, a classic. Every jungler needs to know how to play a Lee Sin. And Vi. It'll be interesting to see what they close out these bans with, Carrix.
Vi makes a lot of sense. Vi is a traditional, pretty good pick into Kai'Sa. You can jump around a lot. Vi will just keep following you. It doesn't really matter. So taking that away, the Malphite gone as well. I was actually about to say I would have liked to see the Malphite, because we need the second person in. Kratos can E forward, get a big slicing maelstrom, but you do need a second follow-up. Getting Kennen and Malphite would have been really good for MVK. They go the Kiana route. Not exactly what I was thinking, but definitely if you're fighting in the river, a slicing maelstrom can stun 1 or 2 people. Supreme display of talent into a wall, then you just fight the 5v3.
Yeah, that Supreme display being able to lock down half of a team more often than not if you place it very, very well. Very effective team fighting tool, that one. I do like that pick. But we do see Team Secret Whales secure a Mundo for his toe in the jungle. But, ooh, Carrix, Dyer feeling himself, looking ready to rip a LeBlanc. Ooh, he was psyching us out here. Syndra
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Syndra for Dyer in the mid lane of Team Secret Whales. That is some strong CC coming out there as well.
100%. I really like this because Kennen, he runs at you. He can come from a lot of different angles. Kratos will have to find some really exciting, very dynamic angles. But Syndra can just E wherever he's coming from. You drop a Q, you E, you delay that slicing maelstrom, and this is not the tankiest initiator. He can't necessarily survive a full spell combo and then still come in to initiate. He probably doesn't get one shot, but he has to run away. It's going to be down to Kratos, and it's going to be down to all of MVK to have massive vision control, because especially with that Victor coming in last, it is Kratos and SOFM that need to make everything happen, because the rest of the team just doesn't really have the tools.
Yeah, those two will be the initiators 100%. Obviously, that value of the Slicing Maelstrom is going to be pivotal in these team fights. They're going to need to link up. They're going to need to synergize a bit better than they did in that game one to see the results, to see them turn the fights in their favor. I really do still think this comp, they definitely want to pick. They want to engage in an uneven team fight, whereas Team Secret Whales, I think they'd just be really happy for the slow play 5v5 and out-survive them. They just have a bit more of a tankier composition here, as we do see Team Secret Whales getting ready and MVK Esports equally ready. The legendary SOFM down there on the player cam amongst the other gamers. We're getting ready for game 2 of tonight's best of 3 in the VCS Derby, and we are on Summoner's Rift. And there's my favorite. There's an unsealed spell book there, Carrix. I love it so much.
It is a very, very strong rune, and also, interestingly, not matched. This is where it's at its strongest, when only one of the supports have it. Being able to get a teleport around Grubs, a smite around Dragon, flashbacks to last night, can be so strong, particularly because BA is not going to be able to answer it. We need to see BA playing aggressive in lane, using the fact that he has this aftershock to get early priority and early leads.
And MVK having those 3 TPs by virtue of that unsealed spellbook just gives the team, the overall team, that priority as they do move around the rift, trying to secure themselves these objectives. That little ward there from MVK getting value, being in the middle, allowing them a little more vision over Team Secret Whales is really nicely done. We take a quick look at the junglers. Both of them have started in their respective top sides, so it looks like they'll do their clears, they'll match, and they'll likely meet at the Scuttle Crab in the bot side river, but there's also some wards down there that will spot them as they path. And it looks like Cardi has a small early push advantage into Dire here on that Syndra, but I don't expect that will last. Dire's just going to clear this wave out and then counter push right back Carrix.
Quiet early game is once again what I expect. Of course, strange thing to say when it's 2 VCS teams playing out, but we have 2 control mages in the mid lane. We have 2 scaling picks in the bot side. Maybe we get something in the top lane. Actually, around level 6, the dives are pretty nasty.
I've definitely seen Kennen top lanes be a bit more exciting than your traditional sort of Rumble Cassante top side fights.
Well, anything
as as we do see MVK, they trade nicely back into Team Secret Whales here. Eddie's health bar a little low, but that's okay. Does have the healing potion. Unfortunately, that is a slight disadvantage right now because Shogun just cracked their healing potion and will have that. Oh, the hook.
Another hook does land, but the door goes up. The stun is there. Exhaust used as they're walking into the enemy jungle. Histo bullying SOFM off. Doesn't manage to steal away the buff though, but will just throw some briefcases. Be really annoying.
Great amount of damage there from Histo on to SOFM. They're forcing Kiana out of that jungle. Unfortunately, as you say, not able to secure that buff for themselves, but I mean, it's still a moral victory. It's still a mental game. You've just walked into their jungle uncontested and applied that pressure. And speaking of pressure, Team Secret Whales bot side duo, Eddie and BA, applying that pressure to Shogun and Elio as well as they take a recall here. Team Secret Whales asserting their dominance and priority. Histo doing the classic owner. Just gonna walk through mid lane, say g'day, and carry on about his day. As they do say about Mundo, he goes where he pleases, Carrix, and he pleases to go everywhere on this rift.
That he does. We'll have to see if Mundo can do good business this game. Just as important as going where he pleases. But that said, it was mostly just bullying SOFM, just making sure they knew exactly where he was. He wasn't going to get an early cheese play. These junglers still probably not going to emerge in a meaningful way until level 6, particularly this Kiana. If you don't have that supreme display of talent, you aren't doing an enormous amount.
I can't say that Mundos are known for their early ganks in pro play, that's for sure. But we do have some early movement here. Some
Pun
great
stepping
work
up.
by
He's in
Obes.
so much trouble. He has no idea. Caught out. SOFM reading the play and picking up first blood.
I really like that. We were just saying how like SOFM on this Kiana may not, be too proactive until that level 6, but that was a level 5 topside gank, played around that vision control really nicely, which I did notice he was able to pull off in game 1 too, that early tower dive. He played around those bushes spectacularly. As we do go to a bot side engage, this will likely just be a very small trade. But I also want to highlight the work of the observers there, bringing down that fog of war, showing just how well he'd played that vision control. SOFM positioned spectacularly, and Pun overconfident, over aggressive here, not predicting, not picking up on what Kratos was putting down by positioning toward the river, zoning Pun off to the top. Just clean.
Exactly what we want to be seeing. A great read by SOFM to just, he kind of saw that Kratos had traded really well. Pun was in a position where he needed to step up. Just go and punish it. He lost out on very, very little. He's even in camps. He's even in XP with his toe. His bot side was just in absolutely no danger. It's a great read. But now we have this little jockey over the dragon. His toe having to flash away, tagged up with the Braum passive. Of course, have to stun him twice. One has already popped the passive. Can they find any more? MVK, big health lead, but the Crab has done Team Secret Wales a favor and pulled over their way, so they'll get vision control. And I think that's all we were really here for, as Dyer rips an ult, equalizer onto Elio. He is going to melt.
And Pun arriving late to that fight, giving Team Secret Wales that numbers advantage and securing that kill for himself, kind of keeps him competitive in that top side. He is losing turret plays, he is losing experience and gold from these minions, but that kill will sort of soften that blow and help Team Secret Wales contest. I do like that rotation. Kratos, though, did well as well to stay in the top side, to farm that turret gold, those plates, those minions, to stay ahead in that sort of 1v1 matchup. I mean, it's a 13 CS difference right now. And SOFM obviously getting that kill earlier. That was first blood, netting an extra 100 gold. Now sitting on a 500 gold individual lead there for SOFM.
Ooh, the hook comes out, does land in onto Cardi, but Dyer doesn't have the scat of the week to follow up. So we'll just be able to walk away. One thing to keep in mind, of course, is Dyer building up those soul splinters. But we'll have to come back to that after this replay.
I like that we're getting a replay here. It was very contentious here. It was a 2v4, suddenly a 4v4, as his toe does take a lot of damage early, and flashes are burned here too. SOFM is forced away, but more to preserve the health, healing up off these honeydews to stay in the fight. Team Secret Wales group up, take down that Scuttle Crab, and the late arrival of Pun and that equalizer over the top, burning Elio down. It was a nice play. I saw the vision that Team Secret Wales were able to apply the numbers advantage. Otherwise, I think they may have even lost one in that scuffle there, Carrix. And again, it was just over a Scuttle Crab.
An important Scuttle Crab, though, as you saw the value that Vision was giving in that play. The fact that Pun was able to move down reasonably undetected, just showing Wards are winning these games. It's all about the movement. Team Secret Wales has just been excellent on that front. Supreme, ooh, that's a little bit ugly.
I mean, Dyer just had insanely fancy feet and was able to avoid that very nicely. Read everything SOFM wanted to bring to bear there, and tidily just outplays it. So now no ult on that Kiana, and Team Secret Wales putting priority onto this Drake because they saw SOFM rotate topside, and in kind, he's just going to trade and get those grubs for MVK. Your standard jungle trade-off, you see your jungler and opposing jungler go bot, you go up top, vice versa. So I like how this has played out. MVK have that sort of turret pushing priority with the grubs, and Team Secret Whales, I mean, it's only one Drake, but it's better than no Drakes, and they'll be working towards that Drake stacking, no doubt. We do see that no items are complete just yet, but I do suspect when we see the next recalls coming through, we'll see those completions and a bit of vision control, a fight for that around, I want to say, the next objective, which will be the Drake, but it's 4 minutes away. So right now, we're just farming Carricks. A little bit of trade, a little bit of farm. You love to see it.
And I think this is what we need to be punishing. Pun does have a good ward here, knew that SOFM was trying to repeat the gank up top while the equalizer was down, while the slicing maelstrom was up. One thing to sort of watch while we just watch this trade play out is how does Kratos get enabled? He has a really, really hard job in this game. You have to lock a Kai'Sa down and play around a Syndra.
Yeah, it's gonna be those fancy flanks. As you were saying, he's gonna have to get creative. He's gonna get really imaginative with the angles that he's going to be attacking Team Secret Whales from. He's basically going to have to get that deep TP and pincer maneuver them from behind, surprising them. And then obviously it'll be up to Team Secret Whales to respond. But they've just had really good vision control in at least the game one. And I'm hoping that they'll be able to bring that vision control to bear here in game two. It is still early days, but the supports have completed half of their Atlas, the World Atlas quest. So they do have sort of 3-4 supports wards each. And we can see that they are using them. Team Secret Whales has that priority on their vision on the bot side because the Drake will be next and they want to protect their bot lane duo. But we do see that MVK, they value sort of more river in general, through top, mid, and a little bit in that bot side.
Slicing Maelstrom comes out, but doesn't find the damage. Kratos not being able to lock the kill down. The same cannot be said on the bot side as BA is caught and SOFM will pick up a second.
Yeah, that was kind of a disastrous sequence of 30 seconds there, as we do see Pun get engaged on force to flash away, so no longer a cooldown, no longer an option there. There's a skirmish breaks out.
Yeah, they tag Dyer up with that Braum passive. Really wanted to follow up on it if they could, but not able to. Histo able to play the bodyguard, absorb all of that damage. And Team Secret Whales will just reset to farming, but it's a great passage of play for MVK.
Definitely owning themselves a bit of priority here. As we cut back to this replay on the bot side, BA just walking forward confidently, not expecting that flash engage out of SOFM. Doesn't even get a chance to respond. So just super clean play there from MVK. They saw BA was a bit too far up. Flash engage, there goes the support. Fortunately, it was only the support, so it doesn't actually get MVK too much on that bot side. Eddie's still able to trade quite well into Shogun's Corki. But as I was saying, Kratos engaged on that top side with that Slicing Maelstrom. And
Eddie wants to make something happen, ulting forward on to Shogun, flashing under the tower. Lovely, Eddie.
That is the Eddie we know and love. That was some excellent aggression, calculated, clearly better at maths, because I said 1 + 1 is 4, but he said flash plus Q is kill, and it worked. You do love to see that one, Carricks. Shogun 0-1 into 1-0 Eddie on that Kai'Sa. And Kai'Sa does have that...
There, Pun. Yeah, not a lot he can do there. Caught in the Slicing Maelstrom. Does equalizer to get the wave. Now Kratos on the run. Dyer hunting him down. Misses the scatter of the week, so this will go over to Pun. No assist given. Good stuff there by Kratos to get the execute. But I just want to go back to that solo kill. After the replay, I'll talk, but let's see what happens here.
Of course, of course. So Eddie just aggresses forward, does take the Foss Bomb. The Valkyrie from Shogun, not enough distance. Oh, stacked up so nicely. Just knew he had the maximum damage to execute and take him down there, Carricks. But what was it you wanted to tell us there, mate?
Well, I wanted to sort of give a bit of context because Eddie picking up that solo kill, it makes me think of so many times in the VCS. It was Shogun at the time, Saigon Buffalo, that was always the team that got the better of Eddie's teams. When it was Team Secret, when it was Team Wales, Eddie often had to accept being seen as the third best VCS ADC. There were times where Shogun challenged Artemis for that top spot. They kind of went a little bit back and forth, though it was Artemis most of the time. But it comes back, and now Eddie is saying, this isn't the VCS anymore. This is the LCP. I'm the best ADC, and Kratos is dead.
I'm the best ADC, and my top laners have got my back.
Unrelated.
As we do see Dire and Pun able to shut down Kratos on that top side. Really good play. I look forward to the replay on that one so we can get the full story behind it. As MVK, they look to get this second Drake for themselves. They want to slow Team Secret Wales Drake stacking if they can. The Rift Herald is also on the Rift, so Histo knows this, and he's already started that up as well. He does not want to give over too many objectives to SOFM and wants to give his team that map priority by being able to crack open that turret a little later in the game, get that pressure for themselves. So it will be interesting to see how long Histo wants to hold on to that, as he does have that heart steal complete, and I look forward to hearing that satisfying thunk, Carrix.
Well, speaking of satisfying, we are one splinter away from Dire having that enhanced scat of the week, making it even harder for Kratos to do anything. Getting that wider angle, adding the slow. It's so difficult for him to... He basically has to come in from an angle that he flashes. That's really the only option. He has to move forward, flash over the scat of the week, and that will allow him to get an ult. But that is so difficult, and he's also so reliant on having your flash. If they keep putting pressure on Kratos, keep burning his flash, keep burning his ult, MVK's game plan for how they want to do this gets harder and harder. And yes, Syndra is an immobile mage, but now has the enhanced E. Dire is just going to be so hard to kill. And he was so hard to kill in game one. What a performance that he's having.
He's definitely having a strong start to game two here, as Team Secret Wales also has his back. They're roaming with him. They're in his lanes, assisting him when MVK decide to show up in force like this. But the wave clear coming out of Eddie as well is to be expected, quite frankly. He just knows how to work those stacks with that Kai'Sa. We do see a little prep work being put into the next objectives. Admittedly, they're 3 minutes away, but it's all about that lane priority. If you can crack those turrets, if you can drop that Rift Herald at the right time and get the waves pushed up a little bit more, you force your opponents to have to respond to that push, buying yourself time, buying yourself that manpower advantage that can be so critical in generally what are evenly matched 5v5s in this top tier 1 League of Legends region, the LCP. As BA gets a good hook off Elio.
Histo is there on the backside, but slowed up by Elio. They have a good read on this. It's not going to go anywhere just yet, but with 4 coming in, good dodge away from Shogun. If that hook had landed, he was in so much trouble. Pun comes in with the TP, is just going to drop the equalizer. Supreme display of talent and slicing maelstrom used with another teleport. Dire arriving. Can Pun get up Harpoon? He can. Dire goes in. Bang. Don't do anything complicated. Just press R. Collect a kill. Collect a mid tower. Collect the whole world as they even land the hook. Shogun goes down, and Team Secret Wales have ripped this game open. Eddie on the run, shielded up, desperately fighting through the Chaos Storm. Can't quite do it. Dire lands the stun, but has to run until his spells come back. SOFM is lurking in the blue pit. Will he be jumping over the wall? He absolutely will. Shrouded in that grass queue. Dire whips an E, can't quite land the stun, but Team Secret Wales are lurking. They're chasing down. The Predator has become the prey, but the Hexgate will save him.
I was going to say, Carrix, MVK find themselves on the wrong side of that rift, but they are able to...
BA, can we land a hook? No, not.
But that, I really that dredge line that came from BA, he's clearly seen, the matrix. He has bent time and space itself, because that went around Elio and curled back in to collect Shogun to allow Team Secret Whales to take him out. That's got to be one of the best hooks I've seen from a Nautilus in a while, Carrix, and I cannot wait to go back to the replay to look at that one. But Dyer was able to show up here as well. We see this TP from Pun. MVK see it, and they smell blood in the water. They're ready to dive Pun under this turret. We do get SOFM's supreme display of talent there, which is why we don't see it in the fight that breaks out in a couple of minutes. Flashes are traded, but Dyer just has the range, has the damage. And then, all the while, Team Secret Whales are pressing their advantage. That dredge line. Just unreal, Carrix. Beautiful from BA. Pays with his life, but absolutely worth it to be able to take down the AD of the opposing team. It is nice to see Cardi bringing significant damage to bear here in this fight, but Elio, no mana, can't stand up to his toe. And we do see SOFM, as you say, was lurking out of line of sight as we go again.
Oh, SOFM finds a pick. That's a massive play there. Just tip of that supreme display of talent. Moving back in his toe. And BA fighting. Shogun should burn down as Pun arrives in the fight, but Kratos on the backside slicing Maelstrom. Dyer avoiding it completely. Picks up a kill with the Scat of the Week. SOFM tagged with a cleaver, taken down, and it's a scrappy fight. It's going everywhere. Vietnam lives, baby!
18 kills in 21 minutes. This is what we're talking about. We need to see more of this more often. Fight, fight, fight. I hear them screaming in the audience, Carrix, or I would like to hear them screaming, as Team Secret Whales press home their advantage. 1 for 3. They're going to take this Drake and get 2 for themselves, but Dyer is just coming online. Dyer is finding these angles in these team fights to turn the fights in Team Secret Whales' advantage and take these dubs. I always love seeing these emotes flashed, but we go to this replay. It starts with Eddie on a scuttle crab. That's all it is, and no vision. SOFM, beautiful engage. That flash, supreme display of talent. Dead within the CC. So SOFM on the retreat does get hit by the ulti coming out of BA, which does go on to 3. CCing Shogun and Elio quite nicely there, buying that time for Team Secret Whales to show up. Dyer basically left alone in the backlines to free fire as Kratos decides, nah, this fight ain't for me, and backs away. So a really nice sequence of play there coming out of Team Secret Whales, but credit where credit is due. SOFM saw the angle, got the engage, and just took out Eddie before the fight could even begin, Carrix.
That he did, really managing to see where they can fight, where they can find angles. But unfortunately, there's just no real answer for Dyer at the moment. It's great to kill Eddie. This is a strong Kai'Sa, but it's a two-man show, Dyer and Eddie, and that's where Kiana can fall apart a little bit. She's great at killing one person. Unfortunately, she's being asked to kill 2.
Great play from Team Secret Whales to have both of them be such strong and significant threats. Unfortunately, Cardi not able to keep Dyer down enough. So Dyer's been able to build that early game advantage and then take it out of the lane and put it into these team fights as well, getting those massive scatter the weeks across the top. As Histo knows Elio's around, he keeps pressing forward. He keeps throwing these cleavers out. He's bullying Elio out of that topside jungle. He says, no wards for you. Dyer looking to get a little play on Kratos. The fight breaks out.
Oh, but Pun found again. SOFM constantly setting up the start to these fights, but they've got to play the backside. He's been traded back. Double kill now for Eddie. Shogun protected by that gravity well. Valkyrie's over the wall, but it's still a win for Team Secret Whales.
Yeah, 1 for 2 there. Team Secret Whales have got to be happy with that, especially for a fight that I don't think they were ready for right then and there, but they turned it around successfully as they look to apply the pressure that they've gained off the back of that team fight onto the Baron. And my goodness, Carrick's, this is going to be a fast Baron. This is a 3-item Kaiser, but MVK, they don't want to let it go for free, Carrick's.
And I don't think they can. I think they have to try and do something. They're not going to be able to stop the Baron being taken. They're not going to be able to get into the pit. Unfortunate stuff. They really, really wanted to prevent that, but it just can't happen in the end. Now Dire finds Kratos and left, right, good night.
That fight was over before it began. Hun just walking forward, does get the flame spitter down, but SOFM rips it with that supreme display of talent. They just weren't expecting Eddie to come roaring in like the F-22 Raptor we know he is to turn that fight around. We're back to life. We're scrapping again, Carricks.
Yeah, and Pun's just going to move forward. Has an excellent angle for the equalizer. Dire doesn't quite land that scat of the week, so Cardi able to fight back. Dire in a lot of trouble. Massive shutdown goes over to Carti, so they do get something back.
A 1,100 gold turnaround over to Cardi there, able to outplay Dire and get the kill. Though? Well done, but Team Secret Whales, they lost 1 for 2 and they're able to collect 2 turrets off the back of that play. Still advantage Team Secret Whales. They're up in this game at the moment right now, Carricks, as we do see SOFM just a cheeky little invade, getting some pings down on this Drake. They look to want to contest this one and maybe keep slowing Team Secret Whales' perceived win con of Drake stacks here.
You say that's the win con, and you're not wrong, but I think there might be a few win cons revealed in this fight, and one of them is named Eddie.
Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Eddie
we don't have to show this side.
Forward.
Poor Dire.
It happens to the best of us, you know, just a classic little outplay, missed a skill shot here and there, and Cardi being of, you know, serious skill himself, able to turn that one back around. Dire probably just laughed that one off. As Team Secret Whales, they do have 3 Baron empowered members on this team. Current Baron power play up at 1,700 plus gold. So Team Secret Whales are feeling themselves as those damage meters, they tell a really good story. Shogun is able to apply a lot of damage here. It's just not leading to significant results just yet, Carricks.
Yeah, I'm thinking what we can do here if we're MVK. And it is really hard because this Mundo is getting a little bit out of control. His toe was a bit quiet in the early game, but has just managed to scale. This dragon is going to be uncontested, so they'll be on sole point. We have to fight in 5 minutes. What can we do in 5 minutes? Well, maybe we can kill Pun, and that's not a bad start.
Pun's died before, though.
He has.
And Team Secret Whales have been able to respond and turn it back around. So currently they find themselves in a 5v4 advantage. But will it lead to much, right? They no longer have the Baron power play active on themselves, Team Secret Whales there. So MVK, they get that pick and they take their recall. Team Secret Whales, they're still out on the rift. They're still able to clear these wards, push these lanes out, press that advantage. So it really is up to MVK here to respond. They know SOFM is around. BA with the hook.
They immediately move in. The Supreme Display of Talent will hold them up. Hit Dire on the other side of the wall. Can't really join the fight. Eddie has to bring the damage. Leo extremely low. BA will tick down to the Chaos Storm. That was a good catch there by MVK. They don't let Team Secret Whales do whatever they want. And Kratos, okay.
Kratos on the back end just going down to his toe there. So Team Secret Whales, 3 Drakes, 4,500 gold advantage. Eddie with the Q. Just let's rip into that bush. No vision. That's what we like to call game sense. These are professional gamers. They know these tricks. They have a good idea of where you're going to be when you're recalling, and they're able to throw these long-range shots out there just to poke and prod and prevent your recalls, which you really do love to see.
We see the hook landing. BA got it started. Eddie jumping in. Dyer can't join this fight. The stun on both carries from SOFM really, really makes this fight work. Locking BA down, a good turnaround. But then Kratos is just, we can't be here. Unlucky to get caught out. That was a very, very blind E by Dyer, but still a little bit too far forward.
There was actually a ward just below Kratos, so he did see Kratos walking up towards that brush. So it was an informed blind E, if that makes sense. He had a feeling, he suspected, and he was able to land that shot, but it was still, ooh. And I do like, obviously, Eddie went deep, and SOFM, with that supreme display of talent, was able to prevent that go, but there was no quick follow-up. It did take MVK a hot minute to be able to follow up on that, and ultimately they got the support, which, I mean, okay, that's not too bad for a failed dive, but ideally you'd probably want more than just that. We do see them fighting it out in mid. They're just getting this mid lane priority because Baron's up in 5 seconds here, Carrix.
Baron is about to spawn. Team Secret Wales with full control of the top side river. MVK hasn't even broken the mid lane tower. It's so difficult for Kratos to do his job when he can't even come around from the back. They know exactly where he'll be coming from. They have an equalizer to hold it off. They have a Dyer to back that one up. The Baron is secured. They didn't even have to fight.
I mean, what's the best Baron you can take? One that is uncontested. They have Eddie, an absolute monster who can, I dare say, if he was left alone, he could probably solo this Baron with the damage that he brings to bear. Now, I know that might be optimistic, but it just feels like Eddie has the damage right now. Unfortunately, Shogun right now, 3 and 4, not sort of being enabled to be able to deliver as much damage as we know this Corki can put down as well, Carrix. SOFM just clearing his top side. Still a little behind on CS, but right now it's a 31-minute game. CS doesn't really matter that much. It's a 28-kill game. That's what matters. It's explosive. It's exciting. These are two teams from the VCS who love to fight, and they are delivering, Carrix.
That they are. They're doing us proud. They're representing the region. SOFM in this bush should be able to just walk away. Has Kratos securing an exit. He's just poking with his toe. Does still do a lot of damage. Walking towards Pun. The equalizer's going to close the gate, and his toe's just going to beat him down.
And Pun swoops in at the end to get the kill. He's like, no, I put down that equalizer. That's my kill. Even though his toe did most of that damage. We can't be getting caught out like that this late in the game. The respawn timers are getting closer and closer to 1 minute.
SOFM's dead.
Can't contest the Drake. Yeah, it feels like Team Secret Wales, they have the numbers advantage. They're going to push it right now, Carrix.
Yeah, they might not even bother with Dragon. Eddie taking a lot of damage here. I think we might just see them backing out, going towards Dragon, securing that soul. On the top side, Kratos can do nothing. Pun just bearing down on him, has to dodge the harpoons. Can't do it. Interesting that it's a whale hunting with a harpoon. That's a terrifying prospect, as Shogun running away from